Hello and welcome to this webinar, which I've titled Accidents on Business Premises. My name is Nikki Carter, background in PI for a long time. I think we've gone for just a generic time period, so best to stick with that. What I wanted to talk about, I've gathered together this sort of area, business premises, and I've called it that because what I wanted to talk about was where the accident happens and the location, if you like, of where the accident happened, of course, determines the duty, the likely defendants, the law in that area. Is it common law? Is it statutory duties? And, selection, if you like, of defendants. And so it's going to be determined by the kind of challenges that the location brings. And that sounds obvious, but in so many cases, and hopefully we'll see that in the next hour, it isn't obvious actually at all. And it becomes quite complicated, particularly when we're looking for who to bring our claim against if we're a claimant. So in terms of what we're going to discuss, we're going to talk about where it happened. We're going to talk about some categories of location as business premises. So the first one would be looking at workplaces. And, let's not go into it, but if you think about it, almost everywhere pretty much is a workplace for somebody. And so one of the issues we're going to have to juggle with is, okay, well, what is the duty what's the duty owed to someone on those premises, and who is that duty owed by? Who's the defendant? And then we'd need to look at, the sense in which, what are the duties? Are they statutory? Are they common law duties? Who owes those duties? Have those duties been breached? And all of those questions are going to bring into play things like, was the claimant an employee of the owner or person in control of the premises? How does the Enterprise and Regulatory Act affect the duty that's actually owed? Is it a statutory one? Is it a common law one? We then move on to sort of considerations of, okay, if it's not a workplace, and we'll come on to whether that's for the claimant or just generally for others, is it an occupier situation? Have we got a defendant who's going to be the occupier of those premises? And if so, who is that? It's always a challenge to try and work out who occupies the premises. And who's the claimant? Are they a lawful visitor? Are they a trespasser? Were there any warnings placed about the issue that has transpired? And then the big sort of generic question, is what happened to the claimant one of the risks that the claimant may have accepted, for example, willingly? Is it an activity, a dangerous sport that the claimant has chosen to take part in? And if that's the case, does a willing acceptance of risk mean the defendant has no liability? I guess we're talking about Valenti here, aren't we, really? What we would have called Valenti at one point. So those are the kind of issues I want to address in this webinar.